Greetings and salutations. This is Mama Roo here with my update on my hair journey. Yes, I'm finally here. I have met and surpassed the 6-month mark. I started freeform locking my hair back in May of this year. May 21st to be exact is when I started my freeform dreadlock journey. And here we are. And as you can see, the front of my hair has locked up really nice in comparison to the last video that I did, where you saw the back of my hair looking well more locked up than the top and the front. So if you go back and look at that video, you can see that I've made a little progress, or rather my hair has made a little progress with regard to locking up on the top and in the front. Now I do still have some areas that kind of want to do their own thing. They just don't want to lock up like the rest, but that's fine. You know, there's just little pieces and sections where the hair is still in its loose curl form. But for the most part, everything is kind of solidifying. I do have the budding going on. That's where the loose curls that have locked together are forming like these kind of wavy patterns. So, you know, I expected as much. And that's basically the lock kind of folding or condensing on itself, and then eventually it will be a nice, smooth, even cylindrical, I guess, type of lock coming out. But for now, you know, I'm going through the budding stage of freeform locking, and let's see the back. And I just have to say, I'm just loving it more and more and more. I'm really glad that I made the decision to do this. I've been wanting to lock my hair since I was a teenager. I am 51 years old now, and I've always managed to talk myself out of it. I knew that I didn't want to do pre-section locks. That just never appealed to me personally. I preferred a more natural, organic look with regard to, you know, the locks themselves. And so having cultivated or manufactured locks, whatever they're called, just didn't appeal to me. I love the way they look on other people, but for me personally, it just wasn't my thing. So I decided, you know, just do it, because I knew I would never be happy with my hair if I didn't. And I chose to do this for several reasons. First and foremost, I'm a spiritual person, okay? Most of you who come to my channel already know, you know, I'm real into the spirituality. I am an ancestor reverence person, okay? And for some of my ancestors, locking the hair was very spiritual for them. My father was from India, and among his people, you had people who honored the god Shiva, who wore jatas, which are basically locked strands of hair. And for them, the number of jatas on your head had a significant spiritual meaning. And I'm not too well versed in that belief or tradition. I wasn't raised Hindu. So I have a lot to learn with regard to, you know, the meanings of the numbers of locks or jatas one has. Another reason is because I understand the physical or metaphysical or spiritual implications of just having locked hair in general. You know, just letting your hair be. They do serve as some sort of spiritual antennae, if you will. I noticed that my spiritual abilities, insights, demeanor, it has increased. You know, I noticed that I dream more vividly than I ever have. I remember my dreams more than I ever have. My insights as a diviner has increased a bit. And, you know, but the extent of all these things still remains to be seen because I'm still rather early on this journey. So I look forward to, you know, what the future holds for me in that regard. Another reason is politics, okay? I'm very politically aware of, you know, the anti-Blackness that this country perpetuates on a regular daily basis, it seems. I mean, there are actual laws here in the United States over Black people's hair, and it's really, really ridiculous, okay? But yes, our hair is politicized. So in the true spirit of dreadlock rastas, for example, it was seen as a gesture against assimilating, against, you know, into the colonizers' beliefs of what a stand-up person in society must present as. So there's that part, you know, rejecting societal norms, you know what I mean? And societal norms are basically, you know, that Black hair needs to be tamed and, you know, just beaten into submission. It cannot stick up. It cannot look unkempt, you know, ungroomed or anything like that. Locked hair, for a lot of people, regardless of race or background, locked hair represents homelessness or mental illness or, you know, some sort of affliction, if you will. Some of my more religious friends and family members think that locked hair is demonic, you know, and all this crazy foolishness. This is basically a statement saying that I reject Eurocentric societal norms and standards of beauty, that I accept my hair as it naturally grows out of my head, that I don't need to do things or add things to my hair just to give some semblance of being clean or neat, okay? There's nothing about my hair that is dirty, okay? I have a very clean scalp. Okay, very, very clean. All right, no flakes, no dandruff, vermin, parasites, or anything like that. All right. I wash my hair a couple of times a week. Okay. As it gets colder, I'll probably do it more like once a week. And I oil my scalp. You know, my scalp tells me when it wants to be oiled, and then I oil it. Okay, what I don't do is put the oil on my strands themselves because I'm still trying to encourage the locking process, and slippery, slick hair discourages the lock process. So I want to just show you the things that I do use. When I do shampoo, I use Dr. Bronner's Liquid Castile, and I dilute it in a little squeeze bottle like this. And there's an amount in here, and what you can see is the diluted product. However, if I were to add oil to an empty bottle like this, I would probably add about that much oil, okay? And then fill the rest up with water, swirl it around until it's well distributed and well mixed. And then I shampoo with this, okay? I just apply it straight to my hair like this, to my hair after I wet it under the shower. I wet it for about a good minute and a half, and then I go ahead and add the shampoo, and then I just go in and scrub. Okay, I scrub my scalp nice and clean, and then I go through the sections and just work the shampoo through my hair like this, you know, and just make sure I do that a few times all the way around. Go back and scrub my scalp some more, and then I rinse. And then I rinse some more, okay? I make sure that all the soap is out of my hair. And then I towel dry by blotting and squeeze all the water out. Now, in my other video, I said I stand outside in the sun. Well, that was during the summer. It is now pretty much fall, winter here in Chicago where I live. So there's no more going outside to air dry. Our house is pretty warm indoors, so I just tend to stay inside and just shake my hair around still. You know, shake it around and flop back and forth, you know, just get the air in there really good. And if I have to go out and I don't have time to let it air dry, I will go under a hood dryer that I have. I'll just set that to a warm temperature, and it usually finishes drying probably about 20 minutes or so. It'll be completely dry, and then I can head out. Every now and then I do oil, like I said before, and I oil my scalp. I have a couple of examples. I don't have all the oils right now in front of me, but I do have Vatika oil, and I have this Mahabringrash oil, and these are both Ayurvedic oils. Ayurveda is the ancient Indian system of herbal medicine and healing. So these are oils that contain specific herbs to do with our health, you know, balancing our health, as well as dealing with hair issues in specific. You know, these things deal with just increasing the vitality of the scalp, the health of the scalp, and they also have other properties like removing tension, you know, like for headaches and things like that. They prevent hair shedding and things like that. So I just put a little bit of oil on my fingertips and just go in and massage my scalp, okay? And I'm using like a motion like this with the pads of my fingers and just massage, okay? And it's good to do this even if I'm not oiling, okay? Because before I made the decision to freeform lock, I brushed and combed, you know, and that's how my scalp got regular stimulation. But since I don't use a brush or a comb anymore, and haven't since before May 21st, 2019, I still need to get that stimulation, to, you know, to keep my circulation doing well, keep my follicles nice and healthy, and so on. The other oils that I use that I don't have in front of me right now, there's one more Ayurvedic oil called Amla, A-M-L-A, and I use the one by a company called Dabur, D-A-B-U-R. And then I use a non-Ayurvedic product, Jamaican black castor, and I use the rosemary variety. I also have the coconut that I use sometimes when the mood strikes me, but I really like the rosemary variety of that oil. And so those are the oils that I use whenever my scalp, like I said, tells me it wants to be massaged, and I'll grab one of those oils. Another cleansing product that I also don't have in front of me right now is the Shikakai shampoo bar. It's actually a soap bar, and it's also Ayurvedic. And what I do is I take that bar and I work up a good lather in my hands, and then I just apply that lather to my hair and then proceed to, you know, scrub, rinse, 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 rinse. I am big on the rinsing, okay? Because I don't like residues, because I have sensitive scalp skin. And what happens is if there is any residue left, it will give me an itchy scalp, okay? So I have to make sure I rinse things out of my hair completely. One more thing. When it comes to moisturization, okay? Because again, soft, slick strands discourage the locking process, and I'm not trying to slow my locking down, okay? So I'm not gonna put conditioners and moisturizers and greases and oils on my locks, okay? At the minimum, I'll oil my scalp, and sometimes the water from the shower, for example, if I'm not shampooing, that's enough to move, you know, that little bit of oil down the length of my hair. And so that little bit of oil is enough to give my hair enough, you know, nourishment and protection or whatever. But it doesn't feel like, you know, oh, I've got oil on my hair, you know. It's just a little bit. But every now and again, I like to go behind a shampooing or just a dampening of my hair with a few sprays of this rose water and glycerin. And this is from the Heritage Store. And I really love this. I use it on my face as well. And it's just wonderful. I love the way it smells. And so I'll use this, you know, and just spray very, very liberally, you know, on my hair. And it doesn't really make it soft, you know, but you can sort of tell when the hair is, you know, because glycerin, it attracts moisture from the air. So you can feel it a little bit, you know, that the hair feels nice and moist and things like that. So this is a really good product to use as well. So that's basically my upkeep, my regimen. Those are all the products that I use. It's not a lot. The freedom of not having to, you know, have all these different things going on, you know, having to plan, you know, for all these different things to do with your hair and things like that. I mean, it just brings me a lot of joy, you know. It brings me a lot of joy. I don't feel self-conscious about my hair. I think other people feel more concerned about how my hair is looking than I do, okay? And it doesn't bother me at all. Because, you know, seeking validation from others is not a priority. You know, how I feel about myself is more important to me, you know, so it doesn't really matter to me if someone can appreciate what I'm doing or not. It is nice to get compliments. I didn't think I would ever, at this stage, you know, of the lock journey, I didn't think I would ever, you know, get compliments. And I've had a few, okay? When I've worn my hair out in public, I've had people say, hey, I really like your hair, you know, and they didn't even know what freeforming was. I had to explain it. And that was a lot of fun, you know. But yeah, I'm really liking it. I'm really, really liking it. I did have a point earlier on where I didn't like it. I was just frustrated. It was taking too long, you know, for it to get to the point where I would feel okay. And I just felt like, you know, I want to just go ahead and have somebody lock my hair up and twist it up or something, you know, because I want to be there already. And my husband, who has Freeform Loc before, and this was many, many years before we even met, he was like, you don't want to do that. He's like, because if you do that, you'll regret it. And he was absolutely right. When I woke up the next morning, I thought about that, and I'm like, man, he was right. I am so glad that I didn't do anything to my hair, because I would have regretted it. You know, I would have thrown everything that I was standing by away. You know, my beliefs, my politics, my reasons for doing this. I mean, all of it would have been for nothing. So I just had that one little moment of weakness, and I was glad that I had somebody very supportive and understanding with me in that moment to talk me out of it. I was very fortunate in that regard. So what else can I tell you guys about freeforming? It's a process, and You can't use someone else's hair as a sort of guideline for your own, okay? Because that's something that I've actually done, and all it did was frustrate me. I figured, okay, let me find some people who have similar hair to mine, okay? And I found some people on Instagram. There was one person in particular who was a similar ethnicity, African American and Asian, okay? And when I looked at their page and saw how their hair looked before they decided to freeform lock, it looked very similar to my hair. But then when I went through the timeline and saw their different pictures, and I saw some similarities, and then I looked at the time frame, that their hair was looking a certain way and how long they had been on that journey, then I started to feel some kind of way, because it's like, oh man, my hair doesn't look like that, or oh man, they said they're a year in and my hair looks like that now and I'm nowhere near that, so it's like those kinds of things can really mess your head up. Okay, they can mess you up and make you feel some kind of way, like, what am I doing wrong, or what's happening, and why is this, and or am I doing something wrong, are they doing something different, blah 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 blah, and you really have to just stop and understand that everybody is going to have a different experience. Everybody's going to have a different outcome. It's not going to be two heads are the same, okay? That's just the reality. Part of doing freeforming is trusting the process and having faith that your hair is going to do what it wants to do. And you just have to let it be. You have to let it be, and you have to let it go. And you just have to take pride in knowing that this is your journey and it belongs to nobody else, okay? Nobody's hair is supposed to look like this. My hair is not supposed to look like those other people's, okay? Regardless of, their hair type, curl pattern, texture, whatever the case may be. This is my hair, and nobody else's is gonna look like this, okay? Just like your hair is yours, and you can look at other people's hair and pictures and videos and things like that and just stand back in awe, and admire the beauty, admire the artistry, admire the uniqueness, admire the color, admire the different shapes and the formations of what their locks decided to do. You know what I'm saying? That's all you can do, is admire, compliment, support, and keep it moving. But no way ever should someone else's freeform locks be some sort of testimony or indictment against your own, okay? I had to really check myself when I found myself doing that, looking at the beautiful pictures on Instagram, okay? And there are different hashtags that you can utilize on Instagram. For example, hashtag freeform loc, or locks with an S, hashtag freeform dreadlocks, hashtag freeform life, hashtag women who freeform. There's just so many different ones, and they have beautiful representations of all kinds of hair types and textures and lengths and colors, and their hair is just doing what it wants to do. And that's the beauty of it all, okay? So, that being said, this is mine, okay? And I love it. And, every day there's like something different going on with my hair. And I think that it depends on you know, whether or not I wet it that day, the humidity, you know, the moisture in the air, the dryness, you know, it's always some factor that kind of changes, you know, how my hair lays down or sticks up. You know, like right now I've got some strands on the top that just don't want to conform, you know, so they're just here, you know, and it's like, okay, I see you, all right, but I'm not gonna stress out over it, you know. They're just there, and I'm just like, cool, what are y'all gonna be doing, you know, a week from now, you know? Let's see what happens a week from now, you know what I mean? I've still got some loose pieces, you know, on the side that just act like they don't want to do nothing. You know, they've been the same. They haven't done anything since, you know, my last video that I made at what, 11 weeks, I think. 11, so almost 3 months in, you know. Yeah, this hair just, you know, and I'm not gonna stress out over it. I'm not gonna, you know, I just want to see, yeah, okay, let's see what happens in a month with you guys, you know. And if it's still like that a month from now, okay, let's see what happens, you know, a year from now. Y'all still gonna be, you know, just loose and doing your own thing? Or are you gonna join, you know, your buddy next door right here? Are you gonna meld in with him? You're gonna become your own little tiny baby lock? You know, I don't know what's gonna happen, but that's how it is when you decide to freeform. It's always gonna be, you know, some little mystery here and there, maybe some surprises here and there, you know. But that's why I love it. I love it. As far as styling is concerned, I don't do a whole lot. You know, there have been some occasions where I pull my hair back, you know, put it in a ponytail, you know, or I've done like a top situation, you know, I've put it, you know, into a thing in the top. Sometimes I have it back on the head. Sometimes I have it high. Sometimes I pull it toward the front, you know, and just kind of like have the hair down over one side like that, you know. But, you know, the length kind of impedes on, you know, what I can do as far as different styles. You know, it's definitely going to have to be a little longer before I can do more styling with it. You know, the length just really isn't there right now. Another thing is, you know, when my hair dries, it kind of, you know, since it's hitting my shoulder, it'll do this like little flip thing. And that's always funny to see, you know, just kind of bends up, or, you know, has this little flip. And it's not intentional. That's just the way, you know, that it's drying. You know, it hits this part of me and then wants to just flip up on the end. And that's kind of funny. One styling option that I'm considering is getting some nice lock jewelry pieces. My youngest daughter, she just started her lock jewelry. She's not freeforming. She's doing cultivated locks. And she bought some really cute pieces of lock jewelry for her hair. And I'm like, oh, those are cute. So that's an option. You know, I have just the one shell for now, okay? But I might be doing some other things. I have to see how I feel. But yeah, I really, really am loving my hair. And I just have to say, aside from shaving all my hair off a few times like I've done in the past, this is probably the most in love I've ever been with my hair. You know, in addition to the few times I've actually shaved it all off when I was younger. This is the most in love I've ever been with my hair. And I don't really regret not doing it sooner, because I believe that it was done at the time that it needed to be done, you know. And I'm not the only one in my family who made the decision to lock at a later age. My mom, you know, my mom is 81 now, and she decided to lock her hair in her, I think she was younger than 70. So I want to say she did it in her 60s, like in her mid to late 60s is when she decided to lock her hair. Okay, so yeah, love it, love it, love it. So to anybody that is considering freeform locking, it is truly a test of your strength, of your patience, a test of your own trust, okay, of your own faith, and of your resolve. You know, why are you freeforming? Because, hey, this isn't about a hairstyle. Okay, now we can style freeform locks, as I mentioned before, but freeforming is not about vanity or aesthetic, even though there is an aesthetic that goes with it. Like I mentioned, the Instagram pictures, there's definitely an aesthetic, but that shouldn't be the reason why you decide to do it. If you just want a low maintenance style, there's all kinds of other options. Freeforming is truly a commitment, okay? It has a spiritual association and to an extent political association. So how invested are you in those things, okay? Because once you commit to this, you need to be both feet in, okay? Because I've seen stories of people who freeform lock and after a while they couldn't do it. They had to let it go, you know? And I get that, but you have to really be serious. You have to really be serious about that decision. It shouldn't be taken lightly, and it shouldn't be done, you know, just as fashion or beauty or aesthetic or just a style, you know, because these days dreadlocks are a style for a lot of people. They don't really think about it in terms of spirituality or politics or both, you know, making a statement, pushing back against societal norms or anything like that. They just do it because everybody else is doing it. It's in, okay? And it's been that way for over a decade or so. So it's like, you know, don't do it because everybody's doing it. Don't do it because it just looks good. You know, this is something that has a soul component to it. You know, do it because you think it's going to feed your soul to some extent or another, okay? It's going to give you something. It's going to add to you. You know what I mean? It's a very serious decision. It shouldn't be taken lightly. But I can say without a shadow of a doubt that it has been the best decision I could have made for myself. The best. I'm so glad I did it. And I'm just looking forward to what the future holds, you know, for the next legs of my freeform journey. You know, I spent a lot of time thinking about, you know, what are my matured locks going to look like? You know, are they gonna be ribbons? Are they gonna be perfect cylinders? You know, are any gonna stick up? Am I gonna have, you know, the trunking situation? Am I gonna have a lot of Congos? You know, which I actually already do. Now I can't find one. I'm always playing with these things. And now that I want to show you, I can't seem to get one. Where are my little Congos? Okay, I can't find them, but I have a couple. And that's when the two strands lock upon each other into one, and then at the end, they're like this, like little Y shapes on the end. I have a couple of them. They're there. I just can't seem to find them right now. Oh, that's really funny. That's real funny. Oh, hair is hiding from me, y'all. But anyway, I'm just real excited, and yeah, so I probably won't make another video about my hair, and unless there's something really, really different going on, you know, with it, and I don't really anticipate too many changes, you know, anytime soon. Okay, so whenever there's some sort of significant change in what is seen here, you know, we'll just have to wait till that happens, and then I'll pop up with another video. Okay, so if anybody has any questions about freeform locking, go ahead and put them in the comments below, and I'll try my best to answer them. All right, so until next time, peace and love, everybody.